was optimistic in September, but by October I was out of the lofts. And I remember a wise man once told me that all hope can never be lost, 'cause a blind squirrel finds its own acorn every once in a little while. So you gotta keep smiling. It's the Brosuv Fantasy Podcast tonight. Brosuv Fantasy, yeah, you know it's gonna be alright. It's the Brosuv Fantasy Podcast tonight.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to the BFFL Pod. It is December 2nd, the year of our Lord 2020. I've got Ryan Hartz with me as always. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, Connor. Thanks for having me.
And we got Ryan Honhart, this week's high points winner with, I think, 157 point something points. Welcome back to the pod, Honey.
Thank you.
And we just wrapped up watching the Steelers move to 11-0. How are we feeling about the squad?
Love it. Looking good. Yeah, tough injury, but can't complain with 11-0.
Yeah, got to be honest, podding with a heavy heart. So tough to see Dank Bud Dupree go down after the season he's been having. Tough for him, tough for the team. But in other news, Hani, finally Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn shit-canned in Detroit. I'm sure you're over the moon, and I would guess hoping for some losses in the next few weeks.
I'm pretty pumped. Hopefully we got, I think, 5 weeks left here. That could be 5 potential losses. Creep up that draft board a little bit. My only concern is fucking Detroit Lions, and they're just going to totally blow the entire rebuild process. So here's another 5 years of agony.
Yeah, five more a beer to me.
We'll see what Sheila's made of.
Yeah, we already decided that I get another case of beer this year, so can't complain about that either. Right there, honey.
That's right.
What was the bet?
Steelers record versus the Lions record.
I was so optimistic.
Wow.
It's like 15 years going.
I get so caught up in August, and then I just get my hopes crushed in like September.
It's like 15 years going on now. That, pretty nice.
A lot of years.
Probably 10 years, right? 9, you said?
9 years.
10.
It's a ballsy bet any way you slice it. Does Hartz get to pick the beer, or does he just get what you want to give him?
He gives me
I've given him probably 0 beers in the entirety of the bets we've had going on. I can actually guarantee that because Andrew drank 3 of the cases, I think.
He just never pays up.
Never delivered them. So, yeah.
It's more the moral victory that matters anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just like with this league.
Absolutely.
So week 12 was pretty damn interesting. Let's start out at the top of what I'm looking at here. Not sure what you guys see, but obviously I see my matchup first. I went out and just, for lack of a better term, hoagie slapped Machillin. He entering this week, he had a first round bye, and now he's possibly not making the playoffs. We talked about it a little last week. It's such a tight division that he's in. And Wheezy eking out the big win this week. But, I mean, Machillin's guys just didn't really show up. If you just look up and down the board, his quarterbacks didn't really do enough to help him out. Antonio Brown did nothing. Josh Jacobs did nothing. Stephon Diggs did nothing. You're not going to win. Not going to win like that. And all of a sudden, what was a big competitive squad now looks like it has holes. It's crazy how the game changes week to week.
Yeah, he was asking for favors pre-week. You didn't get any. That's for sure.
No, and the today's outcome didn't help him very much either. I mean, Josh Allen has been carrying his ass the entire season for the most part, and I mean, he bought Herbert, but I mean, outside of that, he's got a couple players that do it, but Josh Allen's been the key.
Can't see that team getting too far into the playoffs, that's for sure.
I mean, he's got to win to get in.
I guess he was missing Thielen, which is tough, but still, I mean, he lost by 30. That, probably not going to make up the deficit there. I mean, I was saying last week I thought he was my dark horse to win, and it's just crazy. Now I'm looking at his team and I'm like, well, is it that great of a team? Like, it's just weird how one game can change your perception.
Right, week to week, it seems like a lot of teams are like that, though.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Like, you still think that God scares you? Sorry.
It's sad that he has to start Antonio Brown. I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah, well,
was he just this week? I thought he was because of something.
Probably.
Yeah, well, Adam Thielen was. I guess he didn't play. So
yeah,
Adam Thielen. But like, just like you were saying, week over week, it seems like things changed a lot. And like, looking at Gotti's team, you were really, kind of worried about him going into this week, and I feel like this, shows that his team's not not invincible for sure.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Are you worried about them?
No, I mean, Matt Ryan didn't play very well. Dalvin Cook didn't play very well. Aaron Jones has been okay the last couple of weeks. He started out great, but hasn't really, he's been average since he's come back. Not great. 9 points this week. He's also starting fucking Algalore.
Right. His team usually comes down to his two running backs, and they had, Aaron Jones had a decent day, but Dalvin Cook 6 gets hurt, right? He could be in some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I hope
when
so. Looking at 1 seed right now.
Right now,
he'll get a bye. Probably. So he'll
1 seed to win.
That'll buy him some time.
He still had a pretty good week. He scored 96 and got the win, but he did look like a unstoppable team 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I mean, you see this every year, a team that just gets hot but can't sustain it. And you wonder if Gotti, quite honestly, has a team like that. I mean, like you said, Dalvin was on that just terror where he was scoring like 30 or 40 a week. And
right.
now that's Derrick Henry. So I mean, but you definitely don't want to be peaking too early. I wonder if Gotti might have peaked too early.
Well, I mean, his opponent's the same way. Andrew came out lighting the world on fire, and now just sucks. You can't buy a win.
Yeah.
I mean, 77.
Well, all of a sudden, Kamara's like not an asset. Ever since Drew Brees went down, Kamara's just not getting the touches that he was before. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
I feel like it was almost
before zone number.
Taysom
Hill likes to call his own number a lot.
Yeah, I guess he takes away from him a little bit, but you would just think like, checking down to him would just happen a lot more. But I guess Drew Brees does it all the time anyway, so I don't know.
I mean, Andrew's going to have to beat Pat to get into the playoffs here, and I'm fairly certain with him only scoring 77, I might have just passed him up in points after 57 this week.
77 hurt for the points because he was relying on points a little bit here, so yeah, it could come down.
Only like 75 points ahead of me. It's going to be right there.
Man, I wish they would update this.
Yeah, I have 1,100. He has 1,175, so we're going to be neck and neck.
Love it.
You might have. Yeah, it's gonna be very close.
Do you guys play each other next week?
No, he plays Pat. The bye week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. You said that.
Did Pat? No, you beat Pat.
I crushed Pat.
The Pat's out.
Pat's out.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall there. I mean, he had a pretty respectable week himself, but. 157. I mean, Honey. James Robinson. I said it before. Pickup of the year, and I mean, this is just a scary team to play. I'm actually glad that you are getting into. I think you're going to be in the second first round bye because I did not want to play you in the first round. This team's just scary, man. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams and DK. I mean. And it's scary.
No more 2 QB.
No.
We're going to rock 3 wide.
Too bad you can't play no QBs.
Right. Yeah, because both of them were pretty terrible. Although
Okay.
I'm amazed because I remember looking at the stats on Thanksgiving Day, and in the middle of the third quarter, I think Matt Stafford had 4 points, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then I looked at the end of the game, and he had like 18. I was like, "Where the fuck did that even come from?"
Yeah, redeemed himself a little bit.
Like he came out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, Pat had a high scoring week too, so I mean, sucks for him, good for me.
Right.
So is it confirmed that you're going to be slipping into that second buy spot now? I mean, it sucks it's not updated.
I'm gonna overtake Andrew in our division.
Mm-hmm.
Right now he's 2 seed, and I think I have the best. Me and someone else have a tied for our record.
7. Yeah. So yeah, right now
I'll be 8-4. Gotti will be 8-4.
Yeah.
But Gotti's got anybody.
Gotti's 9-3.
Yeah, so you two will have the first round buys as it stands, and
Gotti locked in.
Yeah, 9-3.
You potentially might not, but I think you're pretty good.
No, I mean I still need to win next week.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. You could probably lose and figure it out. It might work, but
I'd rather just win.
Right.
And then just fucking crush Ricky's hopes even further.
Yeah.
What a loss tonight. I still can't believe
He's got to be feeling good about his team, though. His team's pretty good. But losing by, what was it, 0.2?
0.04.
No, 0.4.
0.04.
Yeah, 0.04. I mean, it's absolutely brutal. I feel for him. I mean, it sucks. And I think he has to win next week, and he has to have Machillan lose. And we have to look at who. I don't memorize the record or anything. I don't know who everyone's playing, but he has to win and have Moch lose. It's just brutal, man. But at the same time, I mean, that stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
It just happened to be the last play of the last game of the week, so it just makes it even worse. But it's not like it just sucks. Next time, try to score more points, though.
Yep. Or play better.
I mean, his defense. I mean, I'd be more mad at the double-digit dropped passes than the fact that he lost a half a point or a point or whatever, or point. He lost 0.1 because Ben took a knee. I mean, the bad luck was.
Yep, those drop balls. So many today too. A lot of catchable balls.
It was insane. It was insanely poor performance by the wideouts.
Yep. But yeah.
And I mean, if you're Wheezy right now, I mean, you just basically your season was over. And he's not one to show too much emotion, but I imagine he's pretty pumped, man.
He came out attacking the 3 commissioners here, and really he was joking.
He's a tough go. He's a tough go.
He's fun. Huh? I can't hear you. Oh, Honey's frozen on me.
Yeah, I'm having some just some audio issues. Sometimes I'm not hearing you guys, but
load.
I mean, if you look at Team Wheeze, I mean, Will Fuller went off and then gets suspended for a piece. I mean, the storylines in this matchup are unbelievable. I mean, Will Fuller going off and then getting suspended the next day. I mean, it's just absolutely brutal. I can't believe that. I mean, as we know, Ricky hasn't said anything, but Ryan has expressed some disappointment in how it all went down. I mean, you can call it unfair, you can call it whatever, but certainly interesting.
I mean, there's nothing unfair about it. He gets suspended for taking PEDs. I mean, if anything, probably 33 points because he's taking PEDs.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, it's unfair to Ricky because this guy went off while he's on. I mean, who knows if it was actually a like a performance enhancing, and we don't know what it was, but
yeah, maybe he just did a little Adderall.
So yeah, you lose because the last play of the game, your quarterback takes a knee, and the best player on the other team got popped for roiding up like the day after the game. I mean, that's tough beat, and he's like third in points too, and he needs a miracle to make the playoffs. Not a miracle, but something close to it.
What Connor? What could you say is unfair about it? I don't really get any unfairness besides, I mean, he played the game. The NFL didn't stop him or something. You know,
I think probably test results came out like the day after the game, but it was a Thursday game though too, so the schedule wasn't.
Right.
Houston played on Thursday.
I mean, I don't think it's unfair. I just think it sucks. It just sucks.
But I think I'd be more pissed about losing by 0.04 points than I would be about Will Fuller going off and then getting suspended.
Yeah.
Right.
No, for sure.
Right. It's just funny that all happens in the same week. Like it's like the biggest matchup of the week, and it lived up to the billing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of hype.
Plus, Weezy made a big pickup of getting Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
That's a little weird too. Because I remember in Gino, I think in the last podcast, Connor said something like verbally to Gino about dropping Taysom Hill so he could pick him up, and then all of a sudden, Weezy's got Taysom Hill.
Well, the thing is that why
did I say that? I don't even remember.
No, I think Weezy said it. He's like, Gino should drop Taysom Hill so I can pick him up. And then Taysom Hill, and he picked him up.
What I don't get is like why did he drop Taysom Hill and not drop Tua, who isn't even playing, right?
He picked up Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, but
I don't know at what point.
Drop Tua, pick up Fitzpatrick, or drop Tua, hold on to Taysom Hill, then do that transaction after. I don't know.
Some collusion going on. We have to launch an
investigation. Weird.
We'll see what the
I find it hard. I find it hard to believe that Weezy and Gino are backstage colluding, but I mean, I guess stranger things have happened in this league.
I don't think that at all. I'm just saying. I just think it's weird that he dropped the one that he chose to drop was a weird drop. Like I didn't even realize that was out there. I guess I couldn't have limited.
He put up like 27 points that first week, and I think he scored another 2 touchdowns this week. Like that was
17. Stafford.
Yeah.
So Gino has. Wait, so Gino dropped him to pick up Daniel Jones? Is that real? Is that what he did? Because Gino started Daniel Jones this week.
No, because someone got hurt. Someone was out with COVID.
Lamar. Lamar.
He moved Lamar to his IR. Yeah. Out of suggestion from I think Connor as well. So I don't know. Someone's getting a little fishy here.
So that's probably where he when he picked up an extra quarterback so he could stash one on his IR. And man, he's rerouting the two quarterback rule a lot this season.
Right, especially for being a guy that's not even in the playoffs or even in the hunt.
His team's awful, man.
Once you're eliminated, this kid's just like running rampant.
Yeah, I mean, Noon smacked Gino this week. I mean, Gino's pretty much locked up worst team in the whole fantasy, which like is kind of Gino. Like I feel like Gino's either a contender or he's just bad, and more often than not, he's a contender. I mean, I don't know how, but I mean, he seems to usually be in it. But man, everything went wrong for him this year.
It was a weird season,
Yeah, I mean, Lamar regressed a lot.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
this is a good year to be bad as a fantasy player because you can always just be like, man, it was a weird COVID year. Like, you can like that's why I feel like whoever wins this year is probably gonna face some shit from people like, oh, fake season, whatever, which is not right. But haters are gonna do what they do.
If we have one asterisk champion, we might as well have two.
Yep.
Two, and might as well.
And Ghilani's championship was legit too. It's just like it's just an easy way to troll someone to be like, oh, that's legit. That's not illegit. Like put an asterisk up. I mean, the rules were laid out, and Ghilani went out and won.
Yeah,
That's legit.
I just love the fucking.
Yeah, I'm glad Honhart lost, so Ghilani can have his championship there. Couldn't afford.
Yeah, and I'm glad he has it. I'm glad he has it. If he indeed decides, hey, you know what? He said to me, I don't find joy in fantasy football anymore. And if he legitimately does not find joy in fantasy football anymore and he does not play, I'm glad that he won once and he experienced that joy. I hope to experience it someday. I mean, dude's team has actually been pretty good the last couple weeks. He just he stumbled out of the gate so slow he couldn't catch up.
I mean, he said he bought the body bag, so I mean, if this is it, we're gonna have to put it to use.
That's right. Might have to.
Yeah, I feel like every season we like at the last 3 seasons we have to say, come on, Ghilani, like it's fun, let's play, and like convince him to play. And at a certain point, it's like, hey, if the guy doesn't want to play, I mean, I'll be heartbroken because he's one of the best parts of the league. But it's, you know, like the old saying goes, you know, if you love someone, let them go. And if they come back, it was meant to be. If not, it wasn't. So what can you do?
I mean, Zeke was terrible. That didn't help because he was real high on Zeke and pumped about getting him, and then he just sucked all season long.
All right.
His team went off for damn near 120 with Zeke getting 1 point. So I mean, you know, it's
yeah, it doesn't help when you have like the whole league telling you it's your best team ever and all kinds of stuff, and you're just doing bad. It just doesn't help, though. You know what I mean?
What was he ranked
everyone
in the season? Like, where was his team projected from the start?
It was pretty low.
I feel like it was.
I mean, I was 12 for crying out fucking loud.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have a picture on my phone somewhere of the original.
He had the second best ranked. He had the second highest ranked team.
I believe that. Yeah, I feel like he was ranked real high. And if you look at like post draft, I thought his team was really good too. I mean, he drafted a good team that just didn't work out, like across the board. Like his wide receivers did not work out at all.
If he would have drafted the quarterbacks, he would have
tough position this year.
Huh?
Wide receiver is a tough position this year.
Yeah.
Was that like?
Well, I mean, not for me, but.
Was that like a
other people? I see a lot of like mediocre numbers get thrown up, and I couldn't give these guys away at the beginning of the season. But
yeah, I mean, no one wanted to meet fair market value for DK, myself included. I mean, it's a shame, but everyone figured, oh, Honey can't start 3, so I'm going to try to fleece him. And now you're showing I can and I will start 3. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it took 10 weeks for me to figure it out, but fuck starting Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Stafford. I mean, you got to chase the points.
Yeah, I mean, the ceiling is so much higher. The floor is obviously lower, but the ceiling makes it worth it, I think.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, on last week, even playing Andrew, like DK took that touchdown in the face. Like that should have been another 7 points.
Straight off the face. I feel like he's taking a couple here.
Yeah. I mean, and Devontae Adams plays against the Eagles next week. He's going to draw Darius Slay. So, sucks to be Ricky.
Yep.
We'll see.
It's brutal. It's brutal, man. I mean, he's. I think there's a good argument for him having the worst luck of anyone in this league. It's like something every single year. I mean, I think he's 3rd in points. He has a really good team, and sometimes you're just unlucky, and sometimes you're lucky. He's gotten the raw end of the stick, but you know, keep playing enough times, you'll get lucky, right, Hartz? You know all about that.
Right. Sometimes you get lucky twice.
Yep. Sure do.
Might as well move on to next week's matchups because last week doesn't at this point. Really, there's 3 good matchups really that matter. Right? You got Wheezy versus Machillin, Ricky versus.
Oh, that's juicy.
Ani, and Andrew versus Pat. Those are the only ones that really matter. Because Gotti versus Ghilani doesn't matter. Me versus Noon doesn't matter. And Doyle versus Steamy Boy doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at this. So, I mean, let's save Wheezy and Machillin for last, because that's just I can't wait to look into who everyone has going against who and everything. Let's look at Hani versus Ricky here. Ricky obviously in need of a win. Hani doesn't need a win, but he wants a win because he wants to get that first round bye. Let's take a look at the matchups you guys got going on here.
Okay.
I mean, I think Carolina's on a bye this week. That doesn't really affect me.
Right. First glance has Ricky as a 10-point favorite.
Ooh.
Love being the underdog. Mine says live. Mine says
Been the underdog all season in every single matchup because he just always was. I don't know, but he won a lot.
It's so wild looking at Hani's roster, and he has the top 3 wide receivers. I mean, that's just insane. Like he hit on every wide receiver. I mean, people forget he traded away Stephon Diggs earlier this year. I mean, he drafted legit like 4 top 8 wide receivers. It's crazy.
Yep, and I don't know if you want to call it luck, but lucked out with James Robinson, and his team's pretty much set.
Oh yeah, it was complete luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
if he doesn't have James Robinson, he doesn't really have a running back.
Right, and then he's actively shopped.
Done. I'd be done. I'd be nowhere without James Robinson.
Right. It would have just changed things. He would have been trying to really dish one of the wide receivers, try to pick up a running back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough week. He's got Eckler, Henry, Ross. I mean,
yeah, having Eckler back is huge for him. It's huge. It is.
Yeah.
Hani, when you snagged James Robinson, were you just kind of throwing a dart out there, or I mean, had you? I know that you're a football mind. Had you heard his name? Like, I feel like he came out of nowhere.
Well, I think when Fournette got traded, there was Zigbo and Robinson were the only two, and I think actually Gino or somebody else had picked up a Zigbo, and I just
he did, yeah, a Zigbo Luhu.
I picked up Robinson just because someone had taken the other one, but I think I'd have probably taken a Zigbo normally because that's exactly what I did in the Empire League instead of James Robinson, and now I really regret it.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, looking at these matchups, Stafford going against Chicago, Chicago kind of sucks, but they have a decent defense, right? Or
they were pretty terrible the other night.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for a loss, so.
Me too, man. Yeah, might as well lose out, and it's not like they have like a coach that's trying to instill a culture. He's obviously like an interim guy. Might as well just lose out. I mean, it's like it's just really hard to look at Hani's team with those 3 wide receivers and be like, okay, I think the other team's going to win. I mean, Devontae Adams is against Philly, Tyreek against Denver, and then DK against the Giants. I mean, they're going to feast. Like, I mean, I guess Big Ben's going against Washington, which is a bad team, but they actually have a pretty half-decent like pass rush, and I don't know. I feel like for chaos's sake, I kind of want Ricky to come out and win and put some pressure on Moach there, but
Derrick Henry's a bitch in November and December, man. 3
is he
last week? I think his numbers in like November and December are like unreal.
Who's?
Oh, I thought you meant bitch like the other way, like he's a bitch. But no, yeah, I mean he
total pain in the ass if he's not on your team.
Yeah, I mean he's ridiculous. He's just ridiculous.
Who are we even talking about?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Oh yeah. When the winter hits, he just turns into like a machine. He just freaking crushes people.
I mean, I wouldn't want to tackle him.
Nope. He's a beast.
I mean, he's matchup proof, but Cleveland is one of the better defensive teams, right? Like, I mean, I'm not sure how much it really matters for him, but
Yeah.
And Russ Wills is one of those guys who's taken. I'll have to look at the stats, but I feel like he was on a torrent pace, and then they kind of like started trying to dedicate to the run a little more, and now he's not having as many attempts per game, and he's not having like those crazy numbers. Like, yeah, if you look at it, he was getting like the first 3 weeks of the season, he had over 30. He was getting high 20s, and then since like week 9, he's not really been super impressive. Just around, he had 22 points, then 9, then 20, then 14. I mean, that's not going to win you weeks.
No, I mean, 14 points. You can get 14 points out of an average quarterback. I mean, you expect mid-20s out of Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
It's disappointing.
For sure.
But
you just got to make up points elsewhere. Derrick Henry. That's what Derrick Henry's for.
Yep. And Eckler hopefully can have a breakout.
They play New England, so that'd be my concern, because they're hit and miss on defense. This week they were pretty good against who they played, Arizona. They shut Kyler Murray down.
They did.
I mean,
really.
I think Connor, that was at his lowest points of the year, 7.9 or something.
Oh, by far. I mean, he's been, truly fantastic this year. I think he's still the number one quarterback. But I mean, yeah, he had his lowest before that was 20.3 points. So I mean, yeah, that was by far his worst showing. And it's been fun seeing the overreactions. There's like a guy I follow on Twitter who used that opportunity to be like, Kyler Murray's too short. You can tell he can't see over the line. And it's like, well, I mean, no one was saying that when he was putting up 40 points 3 weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, New England's just they're kind of a pest. They're not a playoff team, but they can shut down the opposing team's chief weapon.
Yeah, I mean, he scores a lot of points. My only concern is Arizona's not very good. I don't know who said it. They're like one Hail Mary away from losing 5 games in a row. And they lost a lot. I mean, so
yeah, they are. I will say they are one of the most fun teams to watch, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to watch him, but
I'm rooting for them to get into the playoffs for sure.
That would be sweet. I mean, I think they're a likable team, but yeah, they aren't very good. They can't really win.
So who else do we have this week in a big matchup? Team Greg.
So Gotti and Greg, right?
Yeah.
So does Andrew need a win? I feel like we need to sit down and hash this out. There's a lot of different things that can happen. I feel like Andrew, if he loses, he's 7-5, which is still probably a playoff team, right?
Well, he's 7-5 now. He just lost.
Oh no, he's 7-5 now. Oh shit. Yeah.
So
he plays Mahar, not Gotti.
So between him,
I'm sorry. I was looking at last week.
Yeah, him, Weezy, Ricky, and Mitchell are all fighting for 2 spots.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay is on bye, so Mahar is without Tom Brady, which
that's huge.
Huge.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Andrew lucking out once again.
And Fournette. He's got all the fucking bucks.
Yeah.
He did on draft day.
Yeah. I don't even know what he's gonna do, if he is gonna consider dropping a quarterback. Man.
I dropped Wentz.
Yeah, Wentz is trash, man. Oh my god. I mean, he is the 11th ranked quarterback, so he's startable for sure.
He has to drop Tom Brady, or else there's no point in dropping a quarterback, because he's on bye.
Exactly. I don't think he will. I think he'll probably just.
Why wouldn't you just drop Carson Wentz and play that quarterback, and then just play someone else in your super flex position? He isn't.
Right, but I'm saying is
2 quarterbacks either.
You don't have to, but it's a huge advantage when you can play a quarterback in there most of the time. Like with his team, it's a huge advantage to have a quarterback in that position.
Yeah, it is.
So he's really
I just feel like, Mahar, maybe he'll relish playing the spoiler. I don't think he's really going to care that much. I feel like he's
Right.
I don't think he's going to be making moves. He's already out of the playoffs. Maybe he'll go to the waiver wire since it's his last game, and who cares? But I'm not sure he's going to really make a ton of moves.
Is he allowed to go to the waiver wire?
He is. I think the rule is that you're not allowed to spend your fab, but you can go pick someone up after waivers clear.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to play for punishment.
We're not allowed to. I was told that we weren't allowed.
You're not allowed to what?
That's you're willfully obscuring what happened. The rule is that you're not allowed to spend your fab once you're mathematically eliminated. That doesn't mean you don't play. I mean, there's still going to be a last place depending on what happens in the losers bracket.
I wish you could have seen the eye roll Hartz just gave you.
Yeah, it's a dumb rule.
Honestly, I'm not here to argue about the rules because I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you what the rule is.
I know. And I'm telling you, I agree. It's a dumb rule.
Yeah, I think everyone pays. Everyone should be allowed to play, and everything within reason is going to be re-reviewed next year, and we can talk about that in the off season. There's nothing else to talk about. But yeah, I don't see any way that Andrew doesn't win this game. So kudos to Andrew.
I think he gets in. I think he gets in the playoffs.
I hope I play him first round because I just see that team on the decline. I see it on the decline. Kamara's not getting the touches. Kamara was the best player in his team. Calvin Ridley, tale of two halves of the season, or should I say pre-injury and post-injury. Quarterbacks aren't good. Andrew's a guy you want to play in the first round. Hate to say it, buddy.
Yep,
I mean,
I agree.
I really want to avoid playing you in the first round.
Well, you've gotten your wish, I think.
We'll see. I think between Mahomes, Mahomes is just I think they're just starting to click. I mean, they just fire it up as soon as they want. It's just like boom, points.
Yep, when they need to. Yeah,
I wasn't far from trying to trade Mahomes to Hartz for Andrew Brown or AJ Brown in a package of other guys, and at the end of the day, I couldn't do it because Mahomes wasn't really fantastic. I mean, he was still like a top 3 quarterback, but he wasn't like putting up big points for like a stretch of mid-season. And I thought about getting rid of him to try to shore up, some other holes in my roster. And I'm glad I didn't because you're right. I mean, he's just been fantastic the last few weeks.
I mean, he played Miami, New Orleans. He plays Atlanta in championship week. I mean,
getting there is going to be the hard part, though. I mean, I used to say I wanted to avoid Gaudy's side of the bracket, but now if it's between you and Gaudy, and I don't want to play you just because you're putting up points, and I feel like Gaudy might be a better matchup right now. But hey, I hope those words don't come back to bite me.
I need to keep Gaudy on the other side of the bracket so we can try to keep the No Super Mafia out as much as possible.
Yeah,
that's cruel, man. That's cruel.
I'm a cruel son of a bitch.
Strong. Gotta keep us strong.
I mean,
respect to the NSM, man.
No respect at all.
No respect.
And I can understand you not wanting your brother-in-law to win, but if you look at the NSM that's getting in there, you got me, you got Moach, let's see, possibly Ricky.
I mean, Machilla's team too. The teams that have 2 really good quarterbacks are concerning because when I played Machilla, and I think Allen scored like 45 points or something ridiculous. He had like 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And he scores rushing, so he gets 6 points a touchdown there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the thing is, it's just way easier to put up a big number with good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it without having 2 good quarterbacks, but it's a huge help when you have quarterbacks just putting up 20 points. Yeah, it's a big thing. That's where I struggle this year.
I mean, you expect a floor there with with Herbert because all he does is chuck the damn ball.
Yeah, he's like fearless. Both of them, really.
Yeah.
The Machillan squad is kind of mediocre, though. I mean, Stephon Diggs is hit and miss. The weather's going to start to get crappy, too, in Buffalo. That's my concern.
He is Clyde Edwards on the bench, too, though.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. He's got Wayne Gallman. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. If it were me, I probably would never have started him just because it's Wayne Gallman, but good for him. I'm glad he got in there and scored points for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was his first-round pick, and and I think it bodes well for him that he has the balls to bench him.
Yeah.
But he's just another one. He's like one of those guys that, 2 weeks ago he went off, right? Not this week, but past week. I mean, just when you have a guy like that, it's like you're never going to play him at the right time. It's kind of a scary situation.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look here at Wheezy versus Machillan again. I mean, this nice guys division is just supplying us with all kinds of storylines. I mean, Machillan is actually favored quite heavily, and we'll have to take a look at the matchups and find out why that is. I mean, Herbert at New England again. We saw what they did to Kyler Murray. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
That could be. I'd say you could hope for a better matchup for sure. And then Josh Allen as well at San Francisco. That's. I mean,
man, I'm looking at Wheezy's roster. I don't see any way he wins this week. I just don't see it.
Well, when is McCaffrey supposed to come back?
I don't know. He's on a bye this week.
Oh my God, that's so tough. Week 13 bye. That sucks.
And Will Fuller's done for the season. George Kittle ain't playing this week.
Oh yeah, Will Fuller v. Oh man. Let's take a look at his bench. I mean, he's got Cole Beasley in that wide receiver 2 role, and he really doesn't have anyone else to throw in there unless he wants to throw a dart at Jalen Rigor, which he's not going to do. I mean, that's tough. That's real tough.
I mean, somehow Kenyon Drake locks into 2 touchdowns every week. He runs 30 times for 7 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What the
It's
hell?
crazy. It's crazy. It's really annoying as a Kyler Murray owner too. He gets a ton of carries, but not a lot of yards. I mean, he's in his last 4 games he hit 100 yards. I mean, in his last 6 games he hit 100 yards 2 times. I mean, he's only hit 100 yards 2 times all year. Actually, now that I look at it, he's really a big touchdown dependent guy for the most part. He definitely hasn't lived up to his first round pick billing. That's for sure.
No, I think Hawkinson might go off this week. Darren Bevel says they're unloading the offense and letting it go wide open, so maybe they'll use one of their weapons.
Yeah, I still feel like Hawk can be a stud. I mean, I know he's been kind of disappointing this year if you expected a breakout, even though he is. Wait, actually, is that true?
He's like tight end 4 over the season.
Yeah.
Hawkinson.
Yeah, he is.
He is, and if you look at his receptions per game, his high is 7. In every other game, he's had 5 or fewer receptions. But he is a big play guy. It seems like, and he gets in the end zone.
I think if you look at it, all the games where he has 2 receptions are games that Galladay played. The games where Galladay has not played, he's averaging 4 or 5, but I don't know. Darren Bevel had an inspiring 8-minute conversation with the team today and said he was going to let things go wide open, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, what do you got to lose?
Yeah, he's getting the targets too.
Yeah.
His last is it's 8, 7, 4, and 6. That's a solid amount of targets for a tight end.
For sure.
Averaging 9 or 10 points a week. I mean, I'll take that out of the tight end every day.
Yeah.
But you're also looking at Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Lockett. I don't know. Lockett's hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
Collusion, Taysom Hill.
Yeah, you got to give the edge to Moch here. And I only say unfortunately because I root for. I mean, these are both no score mafia guys, so win-win kind of. But I always like to see Weeze do well. But you got to say Machillan is the big favorite here. I mean, you look at Taysom Hill at Atlanta. maybe that'll be a shootout, but like, I mean, Atlanta's kind of come on since they fired their coach. They haven't been as bad, who the fuck knows, man? I'd say Michelle has the edge, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's the last matchup we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's see. The other ones are, I'm playing Steamy. I mean, I've already locked up a playoff spot. Obviously, I'd like to win, and I think I will because his team's ass. But, we'll see. We didn't talk about Gotti versus Ghilani. I mean, Gotti could very well lose to Ghilani, but I don't think it matters to him. He's kind of come out, he's only going to have, even if he lost just 4 losses, which would tie for the best record, providing that Hani wins. And then what was the other game? Hartz versus Noon. I mean, couldn't even be less important.
Hartz, I love you only scored 60 points this week. Way to go.
It was on team, which is bad.
David Montgomery was your high score by far.
Yeah, just bad. I left AJ Brown on the bench. I was gonna put him into the flex spot.
Why in the world would you put Ronald Jones on the bench over David Montgomery?
Why wouldn't I?
Why would you?
I don't know. He scored more points than him anyway, so don't even.
I guess he had a crappy week last week.
Right.
They did say, Bruce Arians did say he wants to get Ronald Jones 20 touches a week, but it's like 11 weeks too late for you.
Right.
Right.
It's like, and when I needed him to score points, he puts up a dud, just like AJ Brown last week put up a dud.
But you're another team that should be starting 3. You shouldn't be starting a second quarterback either.
I never even had a first quarterback. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a problem too. But
and from week to week, I couldn't pick who was going to pop off. Like, it just didn't. My team, like, they were all decent players, but I couldn't pick the right one ever. Just whatever. It happens.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson was light world on fire to start the season. Then he kind of dropped off.
And then I started talking shit, and then he didn't do anything ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got Hollywood. Trace McSorley threw him a touchdown today.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I got him off of Steamy. Steamy dropped him a little bit ago.
Yeah, I feel like that was more like Terrell Edmonds taking a very, very poor angle at the ball, and I mean, it was kind of a fluke. Hollywood's touchdown, not a fluke, but
so it had to have been.
I think I'm more disappointed that Ghilani left the chat this week just because I wanted to hear him crush you about defeating you by like 50 points.
Yeah, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
But those moral victories.
Yeah, I had no shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the league doesn't see it that way. It's like if I'm not a playoff team, if I'm not a contender, then I don't really like care. Like, even though, hey, Hartz is his nemesis, in fantasy, he should be like, fuck you, like, I just crushed you by 50 points, but
I still put up the best week I could put up, and it's just, the team's just bad, and you just have to, take your lick, move on to next season, really. That's all you can do.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. You have next season. That's what's so great, like, it's a clean slate.
Right. Doesn't bother me at all.
It's like being a Pirates fan, Hope springs eternal.
It really is a shame that Ghilani didn't win a couple more games earlier in the season because he does have a really good team. Like Robert Tonyan, come on.
People telling him that too, and it's driving him insane.
I know. That's
yeah. The fact that he knows that, I think, is what's hurting him inside a little bit right now.
But you know what?
And eventually he wins out and still misses the playoffs. It's just going to make him so mad. That's
it happened to Gotti the year before.
He thinks he win every week.
It happened to me last year. Everyone runs into that buzzsaw one of these years where you just have a really good team and you just can't win games because your opponents are killing you. I mean, what's his points against? It must be absurd.
No, it's not even that bad.
No?
Nope. It's just weird.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't think there's an easy way to look at like his own like yearly schedule, but like I feel like he just was. Everyone on his team was bad early in the year, and now everyone on his team is doing well. Like it's just one of those weird things where it's like the fortunes flipped, and like he's like not even starting. He's not even starting like 2 of his first 3 picks. Like he's not starting Juju anymore. He's not starting what's that guy from Dallas? Whatever his name is. Like he's just like kind of totally flipped the script on his roster, and he's actually pretty good now. It's like it's pretty wild.
All right, he's fourth in points against. So
Okay,
lowest.
so yeah, that's
Lowest.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I'm in the opposite. I'm the fourth highest.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, Ricky has the second most points against, and actually that will be the most after this week once the stats roll, and he will have the most points against, and like I said, the third most points for. It's pretty crazy, pretty tough luck.
Brutal.
But hey, it is what it is.
Very brutal. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my team had potential, and I don't know.
Definitely potential.
You're not
Definitely potential.
Back championship. I'm not gonna lie.
Just couldn't figure it out, huh?
I'm really glad you're not gonna win back-to-back championships.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
It
was never an option. I would delete the league before that ever happened.
You guys don't even count one of. You don't count either of them. You try to put them down. Really, just had great teams, you know.
Well, I mean, last year's pretty hard to argue, even though you came on strong at the end and you were like kind of not really great. But like last year's hard to argue. You did steamroll through the playoffs. I mean, the year that you beat me was more illegitimate because you beat me by one solitary point, and I had high points the whole season and was just better than you in every way. So that was kind of bullshit. But the second one was okay. I begrudgingly respect that.
Yeah, I think they were both pretty legit, to be honest with you. But
It's not. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But I mean, you have that. You have that. You know, no matter what I say, you have that. So good for you.
that is very true, though. Very true.
Are all the names in the trophy?
Not yet, but I'm gonna put them on this year since I have the trophy. I'm gonna make a little plaque, or I'm gonna make. Chelsea has a little cricket that I'm gonna have her cut out the names, and we'll stick them on there.
I was gonna say,
good
make
man.
sure you
good
charge
man.
everyone the same amount you charge me. I think you charged me $6. You cheap bastard.
Everyone.
Oh man.
It was like $3 for a vinyl plaque. I needed to get like 8 of them.
I don't know. I think I charged you for the front plaque. I charged everyone for the front plaque. I think it was like $2.
Why didn't they come out of the league commissions?
Dude, because this league is a joke. Just kidding. I love it. I think it's just because I created the trophy and I don't know, didn't really ask anybody for it to come out of the league.
Next week in the pod, you got to show it off so everyone knows what they're chasing.
That's it. I meant to have it in the background. Here, let me go get it real quick.
Where's that?
It's just a big week coming up. We might as well just put it on display.
Oh,
I mean, if I won that blind squirrel, it would never be less than 3 feet away from me when I was at home. Like it would always be within arm's distance, so that I could hold it, so that I could look at it, so that I could cherish it. It's kind of crazy that he has to go walk around the house to find it.
See, I heard what you said there, but the thing is, this is my second time, so it's a little different, you know.
You have that blur effect on.
When it's your second time, it's a little different, Connor.
Okay.
You don't need it in your sights all the time.
All right.
The black background blur.
I'll be there someday, especially as competitors keep dropping out of the league due to sacculitis. We got Machillin, we got Ghilani, possibly the other Ghilani, who knows. As competitors keep dropping out, more squirrels to be won by yours truly. Not that I need that to happen.
You might. I'm going to try to maybe just have it in the picture at all times now. This is going to be my new...
Ben Roethlisberger's crawling out of that squirrel's ass.
Yeah, I thought about ripping it out.
Well, that's poor form.
Nah, can't. The only thing I don't like on it actually is I do like Pitt, but I don't like this being here. I think it's kind of ruins it. It's kind of like in an awkward spot.
You should put a Trump
I think
sticker on it.
that everyone that defaced it did a disservice. I think it was perfect the way it was, and then everyone just started putting random shit on it, which was stupid. Even the pit thing. I mean, it's just dumb.
That's actually just Honey.
You can take Megatron off of there.
This thing,
I mean,
you think? This is funny though.
I think that's hilarious.
I don't know if you can see that. The viewers at home can see that, but it's Honhart. It says "Always your champion" or something like that. Forever your champion.
That was from the back-to-back year.
Yeah.
I had
so
like 730 days.
I wish that
back before anyone even had a smartphone, back in those days.
I wish these two weren't here. I wish this wasn't here.
Take Megatron off.
Honestly, of everything that was put on, I think Megatron deserves to stay on. I mean, that's my favorite thing that anyone put on it. Like, I like the Megatron. I don't like the dingleberries, though. I think it's disrespectful.
That's my favorite part.
Very disrespectful, but we lost one of them. But
it was Antonio Brown, wasn't it? Which one's still there?
Big Ben.
Okay.
Big Ben head. But I think we made a rule that you can't remove. You can only cover up. So I think I'm going to cover up this. I'll probably figure out a way to try to cover up this bullshit up here. And yeah, I'm going to add the names on. So.
Just take the dingleberries. Just take the dingleberries off.
Yeah, I guess with your permission I could, because you're the one that put them on.
Yeah, Ben's got to stay. That was a hot glue gun. You're gonna need the jaws of life to get that thing off of there.
Well, strings. It's off. Now it's just a little bit of strings. What is it like? Is it like?
Probably hot glue.
Yeah, but no, it was like on strings. It's a dental floss.
Maybe.
Floss.
I don't know. I was
Anyways,
when I did it.
Well,
we know that.
All right, boys. Any final parting words before we go this week?
No, that's what it's all about right there.
This is what it's all about. One day you may know what it feels like, but until then,
one more week. Let's not count our chickens.
Yeah.
I'll hold on to this bad boy.
It might just be in a few weeks, man. It might just be in a few weeks. I have as good a chance as any as lifting that squirrel, taking it home, sleeping with it, and showing it what true love is.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck to everyone out there who's fighting for a playoff spot. Everyone who might be hurting because of some bad luck, because of bad juju. Look, hope springs eternal. Like we said, it's a new year next year. And everyone who's still in it, I really look forward to the playoffs. It's my first time being in the playoffs since I don't even remember. So I'm just excited.
It's like riding a bike, dude.
Right. If you're really upset, get over it.
Yeah. Be better. Just be better. That's all you have to do.
All right. Be better next time.
Yep.
That's what I'll do. Be better.
Yep. Hey, it was fun, boys. It was fun. We'll talk to you next time, and good luck this week.
All right,
yes, sir.